It is February 7th. It's a Tuesday, and my name is Bill McCamley. I'm a state representative from Las Cruces and Mesilla with your legislative update for today. So the biggest thing that happened to me was in my second committee. This is the Energy and Natural Resources Committee, where two things came up. The first was a bill that was setting up an authority in Carlsbad to deal with a massive sinkhole down there that was formed because there were issues with brine mining. So apparently you have to go underground to get briny, salty substances to use in fracking. And the process down there of mining really created instability in the ground and is creating a massive sinkhole. And a lot of the ground down there is starting to sink pretty bad, and it's screwing up a lot of the infrastructure, including roads, trains, some of the businesses. I think there's a church they were talking about there, and it's going to cost about $25 million to fix. The former owners of the mine, who you would normally say, hey, look, you're responsible for this, have gone bankrupt. So the community down there wants to form an authority with state approval, which is the bill we passed out of committee today, so that when funds start coming in, they can figure out how to distribute it. It was an interesting case of regulation because a lot of the business folks here in our state talk about overregulation and how there's too many forms and too many processes and too much safety issues they have to go through. And, you know, they're probably right in a lot of ways. But these are the sorts of things that regulations are set up to try and prevent. And this case in and of itself is actually probably a really good example of where we could have used more regulations to prevent this $25 million problem that someone, probably taxpayers, are going to have to pick up. The second thing we heard was a memorial. So remember, the difference between a bill and a memorial is that memorials are just like opinions. We think X as a legislature. And this memorial that was trying to be passed by a guy named Representative Lente from Sandia Pueblo was trying to ask the Bureau of Land Management to create a moratorium on fracking around the Chaco Canyon area of northwest New Mexico. This is a pretty old area where Native Americans have a lot of history and religious sacred significance, and there are a lot of folks that are coming down from the Farmington area that want to start drilling operations and fracking in that area. It was pretty emotional. There were a lot of folks from that area coming out talking about the history of the place, as well as some of the negative consequences of current mining operations there on roads, infrastructure, the smell, possible health issues. And then the oil and gas folks were there saying, hey, look, this is something that is important. It's important to the state. It's important to Farmington. Remember, Farmington is one of the worst economies in the country. They have one of the highest city out migrations, so people moving away in the United States right now. And so it was pretty back and forth, but the memorial failed on a 6-6 party line vote. I voted for the memorial, and there was a really good reason. Apparently, there was hardly any public involvement at all. There was a form letter that was sent out to a lot of the Navajo chapters out there, and not a lot of other involvement. And I think with a place as important as that to a lot of people, and with a process as contentious as fracking is right now, I think it's good to have that, and so that was my vote. So anyways, that was the day. Tomorrow I have a very busy day. I'm actually presenting 3 different pieces of legislation in 3 different committees, so I will be back at you tomorrow with a report on that. And as always, if you have questions, comments, or concerns on these or any other issues, I would love to hear from you. Thanks a lot, and I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.